Hey guys, this is your host Nitin Binhani, and a very warm welcome to my startup podcast channel Azure Audio, where we share real stories with real learnings.
Today, we're talking about the biggest tech acquisition of the year, Google parent Alphabet's massive $32 billion deal to acquire cybersecurity powerhouse Wiz. This is Alphabet's largest acquisition ever, a move that could shake up the cloud computing wars and redefine how security is approached at scale. So what does this deal mean for Google, for Wiz, and for the startup ecosystem? Let's uncover this acquisition into 5 parts. Part 1. Google's $32 billion power play. On Tuesday, Google parent Alphabet confirmed its acquisition of cybersecurity company Wiz in a $32 billion cash deal. Both the companies confirmed it. If approved by regulators, this will be the largest acquisition in Alphabet's history, surpassing the $12.5 billion Motorola deal back in 2012 by 2.6 times. The blockbuster deal signals a massive shift in the cloud computing landscape, positioning Google to compete more aggressively with players like Amazon Web Services, AWS, Microsoft Azure, and providing fast-growing cybersecurity solutions for companies to remove critical risks. Cybersecurity has never been more critical, especially as companies race to adopt AI-driven and cloud-based infrastructures. And with Wiz's cutting-edge approach to cloud security, Google just secured itself a game-changing asset. Part 2. The $9 billion lesson in patience. Interestingly, this deal could have happened in 2023, but Wiz actually walked away from a $23 billion offer from Google, citing regulatory concerns and a potential IPO. Wiz co-founder and CEO Asaf Rappaport acknowledged in an email to employees saying no to such humbling offers is tough. But with their ambitious goal of reaching $1 billion in annual recurring revenue, or ARR, they knew they had more room to grow. Fast forward to today, and that decision paid off, literally. Wiz held its ground, continued to scale, and ultimately secured a deal worth $32 billion, a $9 billion more than in 2023. Part 3. What makes Wiz so special? Let's talk about why Wiz is such a valuable acquisition for Google. Wiz isn't just another cybersecurity company. It grew from $1 million to $100 million in ARR in just 18 months, a growth rate almost unheard of in enterprise software. Today, they're at $700 million ARR and expect to hit the $1 billion milestone this year. So, how did they do it? An insane team. The 4 co-founders of Wiz weren't new to cybersecurity. They worked together in the Israeli Defense Forces for 9 years before launching their first startup, Adallam, which they subsequently sold to Microsoft for $320 million. So this was a team that understood security at its core. Founders with military experience, especially from Israel's elite cybersecurity units, are statistically more likely to build unicorns. And those who've sold a company for $10+ million before, they're 6 times more likely to do it again. Great product. From day one, Wiz prioritized rapid deployment, real-time risk prioritization, and an intuitive graph-centric platform that quickly became mission-critical for security teams. Wiz connects to all major clouds and code environments to help prevent incidents from happening in the first place, the end result being a cybersecurity product that companies actually need. The Wiz team had a deep understanding of the problems facing cloud security, a clear strategy to build a compound product, and most importantly, real evidence of success with their initial customers. Their agentless approach to cloud security was game-changing, and they knew how to scale it, remarked Teddy Wardy, the managing director at Insight Partners, who co-led Wiz's $100 million Series A in 2020, then went on to co-lead the $250 million Series C round as well in 2021. Relentless discipline. Even with their expertise, Wiz didn't assume they had all the answers. Instead, they went deep into customer discovery, assessed existing security tools, and found the real pain points before building their solution. Perfect timing. Wiz launched in March 2020, just as the world shut down. While most industries struggled, cloud adoption skyrocketed. Enterprises suddenly had time to evaluate their security needs, and Wiz was ready to offer a next-gen solution. Selling million-dollar enterprise contracts over Zoom became the norm. Part 4. Why this deal is a game changer for Google. For Google, this acquisition is about more than just adding a high-growth company to its portfolio. It's a strategic move to shore up its cloud business. A. Doubling down on cloud. Wiz is on track to hit $1 billion ARR this year, doubling last year's revenue. Google Cloud needs this kind of momentum to keep up with AWS and Azure. Despite being a tech giant, Google has been playing catch-up in cloud computing. This acquisition is a direct play to close that gap. B. Security focus. AI and cloud adoption are skyrocketing, making security more critical than ever. Google Cloud has lagged behind AWS and Azure in market share. With Wiz, Google can now offer cutting-edge security solutions that differentiate its cloud services. C. Enterprise expansion. This acquisition cements Google's commitment to securing enterprise infrastructure at scale. D. Taming regulatory concerns. The Department of Justice is already trying to break up Google by forcing it to sell the Chrome browser. Google is awaiting a verdict in a separate ad tech monopoly case brought by the U.S. government. Wiz will continue operating independently and working with AWS, Azure, and other cloud providers. This ensures that Google doesn't limit Wiz's potential customer base, keeping regulatory concerns at bay while maximizing revenue. Asaf Rappaport wrote, Wiz will keep its commitment to being a multi-cloud platform, collaborating closely with all major clouds, including our fantastic partners at AWS, Azure, and OCI, while continuing to grow our partner network across the industry. Part 5. Multifold exits for early investors. The venture capital firms that invested in cybersecurity firm Wiz stand to reap returns as high as 200 times for seed investors, among them Sequoia Capital, CyberStarts, and Index Ventures. Israel-based CyberStarts co-led a $21 million seed round in Wiz in 2020 and now anticipates a windfall, turning a $6.4 million investment into an estimated $1.3 billion. Sequoia Capital, another early investor, invested $10 million in the seed round and owned roughly 10% stake in Wiz, potentially reaping $3 billion from the sale. Index Ventures, the largest shareholder with 12%, stands to earn over $3.8 billion from the deal. Finally, lessons for startups and founders. Here are the 3 key takeaways. A. Enterprise security is a goldmine. Startups that solve critical security and infrastructure challenges will continue to see massive exits. Cybersecurity is not a niche, it's a billion-dollar opportunity. B. Strategic acquisitions are heating up. Expect more deals like this in cloud, AI, and security as tech giants race to strengthen their positions. If you're building in these spaces, now is the time to scale smartly. C. Team plus timing plus right problem is equal to insane growth. The Wiz team nailed this formula, and the results speak for themselves. So, if you're looking to build the next unicorn, focus on assembling a world-class team, hitting the market at the right time, solving a critical problem with real customer pain. For founders, the opportunity is huge if you play your cards right. Folks, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Join us next time as we continue exploring the dynamic world of startups and the valuable lessons from their journeys.